10 Living Truths, a manifesto for the soul in motion. In an age of noise and nihilism, where certainty is sold like a cheap drug and speed eclipses depth, philosophy is no longer a luxury, it is a lifeline. What follows is not a system, but a series of living truths. Each one is a flame, small, potent, and ancient. Together, they form a kind of compass, not pointing toward any fixed belief, but toward the deeper capacity to ask, feel, and become. Let this be your invocation, your echo, your return. 1. The primacy of inquiry. The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates. Wisdom does not begin with knowledge, it begins with the ache to know. Inquiry is the first flame, the sacred discontent that moves us beyond inherited assumptions. Every revolution of thought, every spiritual awakening, every scientific breakthrough begins not with an answer, but with a question brave enough to disturb the surface of what we think we know. To live examined is to live awake. Inquiry is not a weakness, it is the highest form of courage. Subjective experience is primary. We do not access reality in the raw. Everything we know, feel, or believe is filtered through the lens of consciousness. Even if an objective world exists, it is always mediated by the subject, by someone experiencing it. This isn't solipsism, it's a call to humility. Our inner world shapes the outer one. Thus, tending to our consciousness, our attention, perception, awareness, becomes an ethical act. The quality of our seeing shapes what we see. Reality is structured by patterns. Beneath the randomness, there are rhythms. The spiral of galaxies echoes the spiral of shells. Mathematics, myth, and music all reveal recurring forms that suggest reality is not only knowable, it is intelligible. Logic, causality, and nature itself are fluent in pattern. This isn't to say life is always predictable, far from it, but even chaos speaks a secret language. And the mind, in its deeper mode, is wired to listen. All knowledge is partial. Certainty is seductive, but truth is rarely absolute. Whether in science, spirituality, or ethics, what we know is always provisional, subject to revision, evolution, and reframing. This is not a failure, it's the nature of growth. To embrace the partial is to make room for mystery. Socratic ignorance and postmodern skepticism, far from being cynical, are acts of reverence, acknowledging the limits of our knowing so we can keep knowing more. Change is the only constant. No man ever steps in the same river twice. Heraclitus. Identity, values, belief systems, all are rivers, not statues. Life is motion. To resist change is to resist life itself. Philosophical frameworks must be fluid enough to evolve, stretch, and shatter when needed. You are not who you were last year, nor will you be this person tomorrow. And that's not a problem, it's a gift. You are not here to remain, you are here to become. Suffering and meaning are inseparable. We often treat suffering as a problem to be solved, when in truth it is the crucible in which meaning is forged. From Buddhist teachings on the nature of dukkha to existentialist meditations on absurdity, the message echoes: pain is not an interruption to life, it is life. Yet suffering need not be senseless. When met with awareness, it transforms. It clarifies what matters. It awakens empathy. It deepens us. The wound, when honored, becomes the womb of insight. Ethics is grounded in interrelatedness. The illusion of separateness is the root of violence. We are not islands, we are threads in a vast web. Every tradition that reaches moral maturity recognizes this. The Golden Rule, Kant's categorical imperative, Ubuntu's I am because we are. How we treat others reflects how we see ourselves. Ethics is not a set of rules, it is a practice of remembering our interdependence. It is less about right and wrong and more about right relation. Freedom requires responsibility. We worship freedom, but we often misunderstand it. Freedom is not the absence of limits, it is the presence of self-governance. The existentialists had it right. We are condemned to be free. Every choice we make is ours to bear. True freedom includes the burden of our becoming. It demands accountability, not just to laws, but to our own integrity. Liberation without responsibility is chaos. But when freedom is fused with responsibility, it becomes sacred. Self-knowledge is liberation. To know oneself is not narcissism, it is necessity. The unexamined self is a puppet pulled by unconscious strings. But the seen self can choose, can change, can love. Reflection, mindfulness, shadow work, therapy, all are paths toward inner clarity. The more deeply you know your fears, wounds, and desires, the more power you gain to live with intention. To know thyself is not a platitude, it is the first portal to freedom. Unity and multiplicity coexist. We live in paradox. The mystics say all is one, the scientists say all is many. They are both right. Reality is at once a unified field and a tapestry of differentiation. The wave and the particle, the drop and the ocean. Truth does not lie in choosing one or the other, but in holding both. Monism and pluralism are not rivals, they are mirrors. The cosmos is a unity that blooms through multiplicity. And you are too. Conclusion: a philosophy in motion. These 10 truths are not meant to be fixed dogmas, but living invitations. They are not commandments, but constellations, signs in the sky to help you orient when certainty fails and the ground shifts beneath you. If there is a single thread that weaves through them all, it is this: life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. And the deeper we live it, with inquiry, humility, and courage, the more it begins to shimmer with meaning. The path is not linear, but it is luminous,